just in. It blew up at Raymond James Stadium. Baker Mayfield just let it all out. No filters, no PR script, just raw truth that sent shockwaves through the Pirate Nation. After the 44-32 loss to the Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay's QB stood in front of the cameras and spoke from the heart. It wasn't your usual "we'll bounce back" type of talk. This was real, emotional, and brutally honest. The kind of speech that makes the locker room go silent and the fan base ask itself, is this ship sinking? Or is this the spark that reignites the cannons in Tampa Bay? Stick around, because what Baker said hit deep, and it might be the turning point of the season or the start of a full-blown storm. And if you bleed red and pewter, hit that subscribe, because here we don't just talk Bucs football, we fire the cannons straight from the deck of Raymond James Stadium. Let's rewind for a second. Just a few weeks ago, there was hope in the air. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were trying to lock in their offensive identity after a stretch of highs and lows. The defense was fighting hard, the offense flashing promise, and the team still in the NFC South hunt, believing they could take on anyone. But something cracked. The balance that seemed to be forming started to collapse right when it mattered most. Against the Bills, what we saw was two heavyweight squads going toe-to-toe, where every possession mattered, but only one team turned their drives into real control. The 44-32 final score doesn't tell the whole story. Tampa moved the ball, chewed the clock, drove the field, but couldn't seize the game when counted. It wasn't just a tactical failure, it was emotional. And that's when Baker decided to open up. Mayfield, fiery, competitive, unfiltered, didn't hide. Post-game, he laid it all out. The run game execution was crucial. The guys understood we had to be better pounding the rock, and that goes for everyone. I thought they handled it well, but we just didn't do enough. Obviously, we weren't on the right side of the scoreboard, and that comes down to that crucial moment, that pick on third down deep in our own territory. That confession hit hard in the locker room. Everyone knew it. That interception in the third quarter flipped the whole script. The Bucs were closing the gap, the fans were roaring, momentum was building, and then, boom, one bad throw, and the air went out of the sail. Josh Allen made them pay immediately. Just like that, the game slipped away. Baker didn't sugarcoat it, and that kind of accountability is rare in today's NFL. He faced it head on. But the big question now, is honesty enough when the season starts to slide out of reach? The reaction was instant. Bucs Nation lit up. Half the fan base applauded Baker's gut. At least he's owning it, they said. The other half, furious. Enough talk. We want win. The debates took over Twitter, Reddit, and every Bucs podcast on the map. Inside one Buc place, reactions were mixed. Todd Bowles stood by his QB, praising his leadership and effort. But according to ESPN and NFL Network Insider, patience inside the building is wearing thin. Offensive coordinator Dave Canales is reportedly reworking the playbook to recapture that early season rhythm. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are still backing Baker publicly, but you can read the frustration in their eyes. Everyone knows this offense can do more, and right now, that's the truth haunting the locker room. The Bucs need an identity, and they need it fast. Schematically, the Bills' game was full of contradiction. The Bucs ran for 202 yards. Sean Tucker went off with 106 yards and 2 TD, easily the best rushing performance of the year. And yet, they couldn't control the tempo. Key down, red zone miscue, costly turnover, that's what killed them. Mayfield threw for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that one interception on their own side of the field was a backbreaker. Against a team like Buffalo, those mistakes get punished fast. Josh Allen flipped it into point. From there, it snowballed. The stat sheet says offensive progress, but the eye test says mental lapses. It's the oldest saying in football. Moving the ball is one thing, finishing drives is another. Now, the question hovering over Tampa Bay is bigger than just X's and O's. That loss to Buffalo marked the third defeat in 4 games. A team that once dreamed of controlling the NFC South is now watching the Panthers creep up and the Falcons breathing down their neck. From 6-2 to 6-4, the curve is heading the wrong way. The schedule? Brutal. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams at 8-2, playing at home in SoFi Stadium. That's a must-win game, no sugarcoating. Bowles knows another loss could send this ship straight into the storm. Confidence is shaking. The locker room feels it. Veterans like Levante David and Antoine Winfield Jr. are holding the line, reminding the young guys that the Pirate Code is built on resilience, but the tension is real. Baker's candid words, as refreshing as they were, exposed the emotional battle happening behind the scene. Frustration versus faith. And make no mistake, those words will echo. Analysts on Fox and NBC Sports are saying Baker's honesty might actually spark something inside that locker room. A little thing called accountability. But it also showed the crack. Mentally, this team isn't fully synced. Dave Canales says adjustments are coming. More play action, heavier tight end usage, faster tempo. The goal? Take pressure off Baker and lean on what's working. The ground game. Expect more Sean Tucker, more Rashad White in third down. Stat-wise, Tampa runs the ball 25-plus times. They win 80% of the time. When they rely on Baker's arm too much, that drops to 33%. The math is clear. Balance or bust. The Bucs' air attack still has firepower, but chemistry needs to return fast. Meanwhile, the defense has its own demon. The front seven, Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, and crew, is struggling against quick passing offense. Against Buffalo, they gave up 384 yards through the air. Bowles, a defensive mind at heart, is searching for answers. Fatigue and frustration are showing. Over the last 4 games, they've allowed an average of 27 points, not playoff football. And in the middle of all that, Baker's post-game words became a mirror. He didn't point fingers, he challenged the group. "We played well most of the time," he said, "but you can't let moments like that slip." Translation: either we learn right now, or the season's gone. Now, it's do or die time. The Bucs head to LA to face a dangerous Rams squad that doesn't forgive mistakes. Long trip, loud crowd, pressure maxed out. This is a character test. Expect Bowles to go old school, run the ball, chew clock, minimize turnover. But the real question, how will Baker respond? He's got to turn that self-critique into fire. His teammates need to see that energy. If the run game shows up again and the offense protects the ball, the Bucs have a fighting shot. But if the same instability hits, could get ugly fast. Drop your take below. Fire the cannons if you believe the Bucs will bounce back, or steady the ship if you think this crew needs some repairs before setting sail. Because at the end of the day, this moment defines the Pirate spirit. Tampa Bay never had it easy, and maybe that's exactly what makes us who we are. The pain of losing, the weight of expectation, the chill of almost falling short. It's all part of the grind. Baker didn't run from the fight. He showed vulnerability, but also gut. Sometimes the first step to winning again is admitting where you fell short. The fans feel that. The Bucs Nation still believe, because when that cannon fire starts rolling, no one can stop it. Maybe the ship's rocking right now, but as long as there's fire in the chest and fight in the heart, Tampa Bay ain't done. This isn't the end. It's the chapter that separates those who just wear the jersey from those who live it, breathe it, and bleed pewter and red. So now I'll throw it back to you, Pirate Nation. Was Baker right to take the blame, or should he have called out the system and coaching staff more directly? Do you think that raw honesty helped or hurts the locker room? Drop your thoughts below. Your comment might make it into the next video. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be a fiery week in Tampa. And when those cannons roar again, let that sound roll across the Gulf. Because here in the Bay, my friend, the tide can turn in a heartbeat. Fire the cannons, Tampa Bay. The battle rages on.